right. Good morning, good afternoon.
Joshua, you got muted.
Thanks for the connection, everyone. All right. Sorry for the network malfunctioning over here. At this point, so delighted to welcome you all getting connected with us for Thrive Conference 4.0. Remember,
Joshua, do you want somebody else to take over and run this for you? Shall I add somebody in the?
you can take
Should I add somebody?
you can take over right now.
How do I do that? Shall I take it
Okay.
alone, like only? ऐसा बोलो.
He wants to around. All right.
मेरे को ये
Oh, welcome back, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're connected with us from. Remember, this is Thrive Conference 4.0, and I'm delighted to welcome you all getting connected with us. As you stay tuned, I'm sure you will be shifted for the next level. Once again, we have another eminent speaker all the way from India. She is so loaded to the point that she is being transformed and we can be transformed under the sound of our voice. We are honored to welcome Anuradha Chawla, life coach, performance coach in particular, CEO and founder of Bbetter HR Solutions, a firm specializing in HR consulting, corporate training, and personal coaching. So, with 20 years of expertise in strategic leadership development, human resources, and operations, we see that Madam Anuradha brings a wealth of knowledge and inspiration to every stage she graces. And she has highlights of journeys over here in which time will not permit us to measure, but as we do, I'm sure you're able to dive through it. She is ready for us to pour out to us out of our expertise for us to be transited towards the next level. Join me as we welcome performance coach Anuradha Chawla from India. You're welcome, ma. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Joshua, for the lovely introduction, having me on this board of visionary leaders. I would be talking about emotional intelligence with everyone today. Thank you for having me here.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, shall we start with the topic today?
Yes.
All right. Okay, I get it. So, my friends, today's topic is emotional intelligence for leadership. We all understand leadership is very important for any organization, any platform, institute, or even a family. We need a leader who can steer us, give us direction, and also give us a goal, a vision to go forward to. Now, in this leadership, very, very important and critical is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is a component that helps us understand ourselves, knowing ourselves, and also knowing everyone around us, people around us. Now, emotional intelligence, the subject itself is huge. Let us start with very simple baby steps with a situation, a leadership situation, a scenario. You must have worked with some leaders. So tell me one leader you have worked with and you have really evolved as a person and you have enjoyed working with that leader. I give you 10 seconds, think of that leader. Now, now that you've thought about the leader, was the leader an expert, very good in his competencies or her competencies, or very famous, good in appearance? Or was it the person's understanding of yourself, giving you good direction, leading you, and knowing your motivation and motivating you, keeping your morale high? What has been the factor? In most of the cases, it will be their understanding of you, which has really made you like that leader a lot. The same way, let's take a scenario where the situation has gone haywire, where the problems have exceeded and the team has a low morale, there is a lot of resistance to change. All this is happening. What will bring you back to the positive situation? What will help you to resolve this situation? My friends, let me tell you, it is not lack of smarts but lack of emotional intelligence that brings us to such situations. So what you really need is not smarts, but you need emotional intelligence, understanding of your team, that will take you out of such situations. Now, these are the scenarios which would have brought you towards the intelligent topic of emotional intelligence. Now, let's go a little far in the past and talk about the old model of leadership. The old model of leadership was more of experts, very intelligent, most of the decisions. So the people who used to be experts make most decisions and be impressive, very high competences were the leaders. But the new model, which has changed, is more of an evolved leadership. The leaders that coach, the leaders who understand, the leaders who collaborate, who hear you, who cooperate. So it is more of a democratic leadership that prevails for long term. And that is what our new model is. Now, friends, let's understand the four pillars of emotional intelligence. Now we have established why emotional intelligence is important. Now we'll understand what are the four pillars of emotional intelligence. Now, emotional intelligence, the first is self awareness, being aware of yourself, your preferences, your biases, your leadership skills, how you can adapt or not adapt. So it is more about the first pillar, self awareness, knowing yourself. Now, when you are knowing yourself, I'll be using a lot of tools when I am training you, and make sure you also make your notes, as I am going to refer to my notes in between. Now, knowing your inner states, knowing your preferences, as I said. Now, once you know that the rail is the train is off the rail, what will you do? Stop, take a halt. The practical tool that I'll give you is halt. Halt is whenever you are going for a very important meeting, a very important training, a very important closure of sales, halt and go for HALT. H, check. Are you hungry? A, are you angry? L, are you feeling lonely? T, are you tired? These four are most of the times the reasons why your meetings don't go well, your sales did not close, because these four will pull you back and play around with your emotions. So you need to be in control of your emotions. Am I making clear? Even for the audience, you take 60 seconds of a halt, and whenever you are addressing, you can ask the same question to your audience. How are you feeling today? Are you stressed? What is the reason for that stress? Once you have gathered and established that you are out of that stress, and you know that emotion, keep it aside and now come back to your session or your training. So the audience as well play most important role when we are having public speaking. Now the second one, self management. We have established that this is my present state. This is the way I feel right now. And I've halted and considered HALT, halt. Now comes the management part. How will you manage these emotions? My friends, it is not about suppressing. You don't have to suppress your emotions. You rather have to channelize your emotions. Channelize them for the better effectivity. You getting me? Now, how do you do that? You know that you are a little perturbed, or you are intimidated by somebody's presence, or you're feeling hungry and you're feeling jittery, or you're feeling restless. What will you do? The practical tool, use the pause button. Now, what do you do? When you put the pause button, you have deep breathing. You know that right now you are angry. Halt, pause button, deep breathing. Deep breathing is one. Count in your mind, count numbers. Or you can do reverse counting. All this is to help you control your present reaction and rather respond to a situation. The second is, first tool is pause button. The second is cognitive reframing. You will be reframing your mind. It is also called analytical training of mind. We call it ATOM, analytical training of mind, and technically you call it cognitive reframing. So how do you do cognitive reframing? Let's say you are stuck in a situation that you cannot resolve, and entire team is busy solving that problem. Now, one way of saying is, now we have an obstacle, we are all this is a very big hurdle, and we are all disturbed and we are busy working on it. The second rephrasing of it will be, wow, we have a challenge that will help us become better problem solvers. We will now be managing the conflicts much better after we resolve this situation. So, what did you do? You rephrase the situation. Instead of making it a complaining mode, you have made it a solution mode, right? So, that is about self management. And why? You set the emotional tone. As a leader, your calm is contagious, but your panic is infectious. So, do you want to be calm or you want to panic? As a leader, you have to decide. For that, use the pause button tool. That takes me to the third pillar, which is social awareness. My friends, social awareness, you can also take it to empathy, right? Understanding how others feel, being in somebody's shoes, understanding from others' perspective. It is very, very simple to see somebody and say they are panicky, they react, they don't do well in difficult situations. But once you step back, take a breath, and try to understand their situation, you get to know it is not just their problem, but their circumstances that are taking them to that kind of a reaction or that kind of a response to a situation. Now, why a leader has to be empathetic? My friends, it will build trust. It will help you gather and gain their trust so that you can get better results and also have a team camaraderie, team work which is effective. Now, what is the tool that you can use to be empathetic? The most important tool is active listening. When you are listening to your team, you actually gather the emotion behind the verbose. Words are never enough. It is about the emotion that is there in underlying their words and sentences. So that is what you have to gather. Same way, if you are a public speaker, or let's say you have a team gathering, a town hall, as a CEO, as a leader, how will you gather that? Active listening, you cannot have active listening when the team has not even started the listening, started talking. So, what would you do? When you step in a gathering, you look around, you gauge the audience state. Are the audience engaged? Are they disengaged? Do they look frustrated? What is their present emotion? Gather that, and then accordingly you start talking. Now, the blind spot with me here is, as a speaker, I can't see my audience. So I don't know if you are listening, if you are not listening. And that blind spot is a limitation on my side. I can't see my audience right now. But I'm hoping that you are listening and you are making your notes. Because, my friends, it is very, very important for all of us to value time, yours as well as mine. And as I said, emotional intelligence is critical in leadership. If you want to be a good leader, you need to ensure that you are emotionally intelligent. You know what? A lot of times when I talk to people about emotional intelligence, they say, what exactly is an emotion? Bring me to that starting. So before I take you to the fourth pillar, let me talk to you about emotions. Emotions are, we express through our emotions. Emotions help us show the world or show the people what we are doing right now. They are feedback mechanisms. You give me a slap and my eyes will have tears. What is it? This is my emotion, right? You abuse me and I will be angry. That is my emotion. So you have to understand emotions. Emotions can be positive emotions and negative emotions. Now, positive emotions are a reward, a pat on the back, a gift, anything that is positive, that brings happiness to me is an emotion, right? Positive emotion. Now, the negative emotion, frustration, anger, anxiousness, these are all negative emotions. Feeling disgusted. What are these? These are negative emotions. Now, the positive emotions are good to have. The negative emotions are call to action. You need to understand, why am I feeling this? Take a very layman example. There is a tap that is leaking. Now, when the tap is leaking, you put an adhesive to stop the leaking. What happens? The adhesive will also wear off and it will start leaking again. You put a thread around the tap to close it, yet it will again start leaking. What do you do to work on it so that it doesn't leak? You have to work on the root cause. You open the tap, you find out the washer or any nut is loose or broken. You replace it, tie it, and then close the tap. It will not go, it will not break again, right? So that is what you do with the negative emotion. It's like an onion. You peel, and you peel one layer, you get to the second situation. So the tool is 5Y tool. Let's say uh, you are feeling, you're feeling bored. Why are you feeling bored? Ask yourself, oh, because my cell phone battery is discharged. Why did my cell phone battery get discharged? It got discharged because I was playing game for a longer duration. Why was I playing a game for a long duration? Because I was alone. Why was I alone? Because I just had a fight with my sibling. Why did I have a fight with my sibling? Because my sibling was not giving me a pen, my pen. Why was my sibling not giving me a pen? Because he or she wanted to share it with me, right? So I don't like to share. The root cause is I don't like to share, and that is why the 5 Ys and the present situation when I am bored. So because I cannot share, so I am bored. So what I have to work on? My sharing habits. Same way, you put this 5Y tool in any situation and you will understand why you are not able to work on your emotions, or why you are emotionally, why you are having this negative emotion, right? Now, moving ahead on the fourth pillar of emotions. Now, the fourth pillar of emotion is relationship management. People around you, the empathy, the self awareness, the self management, all together make us act. The action is what relationship management is all about. You need to act on the gathered data, the gathered emotion. Now, inspiring, influencing, developing your team, all are covered in relationship management, because these are all action words, or you can say action verbs, right? Giving feedbacks, rallying the team, navigating disagreements, driving change. All these are covered in relationship management. The tool is feedback mechanism. You give feedback as a gift, even if that is negative. That is the catch. If you are telling somebody that they are not good in a particular aspect, you offer a solution, you offer a coaching mechanism, you offer it one on one. You do not reprimand in public. Do it one on one while in a conversational mode. Sit up, you have a sit out, talk to your team that you want to have a word with them and you want to give feedback, and give it in a SBI model. Good, thanks for my notes, I know. So, SBI model. What is SBI model? There are three important components. S for situation. Now, when you are giving feedback, do not use the word always, never. Give the feedback in present situation, the situation that has led to the feedback. Like you say, in yesterday's meeting, I found out that you were this. Do not say always in all meetings I find that this. The person will be offended and the defensive mode starts. So SBI, S is situation. Stick to the situation and not the complete tenure you worked with that person or being in relationship with that person for. B is behavior. So it is like in yesterday's meeting, you interrupted me, right? In yesterday's situation is the S of the SBI. B is the behavior. Now you're talking about the behavior that you have that has not gotten right with you, right? As a leader. So S, B, I. I is the impact. Impact. Teams get discouraged if you show disrespect. You have to be respectful, yet you have to give the feedback by being impactful. Share the ideas openly, independently. Do not quote somebody else that ABC, XYZ also said the same. Again, this will offend your team member that you are taking it far, to other people as well. So the person becomes defensive. So use the SBI technique. Situation, stick to it. Behavior, quote. I impact, impactfully give the feedback and expect the change. Right. So the tool here is empathetic no. You can say no, but empathetically. Like, let's say your team member approaches you with a good idea, a brilliant idea, right? You know the idea is good, but you also know it cannot be implemented in the present scenario. So, validate the idea first. ABC, your idea is very good, fantabulous. I love the idea, but the present situation doesn't allow me to imbibe and implement your idea. So let us keep it on the back burner. Once the situation changes, we can use your idea, and I will certainly give you credits for your idea. Thank you. And zip it up. Very important to zip it up. Lot of times we will give our feedback and we will blabber. It is called mouth diarrhea. Sorry for the word. But you will keep talking, giving reasons, and that spoils the situation more than your decision itself. So manage it in a way that you are being empathetic and you give the feedback, but in fewer words. We also call it articulating. So, my friends, now if you understood, we discussed about what emotional intelligence is, caring about your feelings and that of others, right? If I like very cold AC and the people around me don't like very cold AC, so I have to find a middle ground, understanding that I like, you know, cold AC and others don't. So probably instead of wearing a full sleeves, I can wear a half sleeves and we find a middle way. Everyone is happy as well as me, right? Or I take a spot which is colder and the others are on a other spot. So my friends, you have to find out the middle ground. You if you want to be a good leader, you have to work on your leadership skills, in which emotional intelligence is the most critical component. And when you are working on emotional intelligence, I'm summarizing, when you're working on emotional intelligence, work on all the areas, the four pillars: self awareness, knowing you; self management, knowing how to manage your emotions, expressing in a nice way. The third one, social skills or relationship. So, how do you do that? Finding a middle way and understanding what others want, empathizing with them. Empathy is the key word here. And the fourth one is relationship management, which is action word. A mix of all three, and then the feedback mechanism, how you are giving feedback, how you are responding to somebody. With that, take control of your life and stay committed to self improvement. My friends, for me, what has really worked over the years is I have always committed to self improvement. I've always tried to understand, being empathetic, how people around me would want things. And I understand that also takes me to time constraint. We are in the world of shorts and less of long videos. So I tried to summarize emotional intelligence for all of you. If you have questions, I'm here. Please shoot your questions, and I would expect my friend Joshua, if he's around, he can convey the questions to me. Or let's do one thing. If you don't have the, because I don't see Joshua here. So you mention your questions in the YouTube channel, Heritage Academy, or you mention it on Facebook, and I would certainly respond to you. Stay connected with me on my social media handle, Performance Coach Anuradha. I work on improving and helping people to reinvent themselves and work on their best versions. Thank you so much.
Wow, that's a great delivery from our keynote speaker from Indian. And I want us to know that emotional intelligence for leadership is very important, very, very charming at this point. If we want to be transited to the next level. Okay, at this point, I'm putting to everyone that growth matters in this area of discovering yourself. in this area of leading, in this area of becoming. So at this point, never live limited. Never live limited. Get yourself equipped, get yourself ignited, get yourself going. And that's how things can be get done. So till I come your way next time, live a best life. Live a life alive. So stay tuned as we journey through the end of this conference, Ignite in Greatness, Drive Conference 4.0. Thank you so much for getting connected with us. You are welcome.